Thanks. We'll give it about 2 minutes to allow others to dial in and get situated. There we go. Good morning, everyone. We'll get started in about a minute. Thank you for joining us this morning. Okay, it's about 10:03, so why don't we go ahead and get started with our seminar today. And first, let me stop and welcome everyone and say good morning and welcome to GLAC in the AM. This is your morning network connection for information, education, and engagement. Please feel free to put your information in the chat box. We're doing our virtual networking. There may be some folks in the room that are looking for you to do business, in addition to the people that are in the workshop. So we want to know who's in the room, all part of it. The next $1 million contract. I'm Angela Gibson Shaw, president of GLAC, the Greater Los Angeles African American Chamber of Commerce, for those of you that are not familiar with it. And GLAC is dedicated to the growth and development of the African American business community in the greater LA area. We support all small business in California and beyond. I'd like to introduce you to our staff today, and leading GLAC activities are Naomi Scott, our Director of Operations. Wave, Naomi. Thank you. And Chanel Frampton, Director of Programs. Hi, Chanel, there she is. Great. After our presentation, please stay tuned, and we'd like to tell you about some of our upcoming events and invite you to join GLAC for those of you that are not members. So today's presentation is the first in a set of series, and today we're going to introduce you to the California Water Association, and over the next 3 sessions, we're going to create a pathway for you to access the procurement contracts as a small, diverse supplier. The California Water Association, or CWA as they are known, is made up of all the regulated water utilities in the state of California. So today we have the 5 largest regulated water utilities with us. We've got California American Water, San Gabriel Valley Water, San Jose Water, California Water Service, Golden State Water, and Suburban Water. But I think one of those folks is not here today, and they'll tell you more about it. So I'm going to take a moment and introduce the person that's going to lead us through the speakers today. And then you'll also receive a recording of this presentation after the conclusion of the presentation of the seminar, of the workshop, if you will. Our next sessions are going to be talking about getting certified, and also then we're going to meet the buyers and really do some deep dives into some of the contracting opportunities that are available. During the presentation, please feel free to put your questions in the chat box. At the conclusion of it, we will go through and pull out the questions and answer all of your questions and concerns about the presentation. And so at this time, it's my pleasure to introduce our MC for today, and that's Ms. Holly Joy. Holly Joy is Golden State Water's Diversity Supplier Manager, and she's going to lead us through today's presentation, introduce herself, tell us a little bit more about herself, and take it away, Holly. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Good morning to everyone. I really appreciate the opportunity to connect with GLAC, to connect with some of the members of GLAC, because one of my, I guess, recent mantras is, I'm trying to stay ready so I don't have to get ready. And for anyone that, can align with that particular statement, our being here today is needed across all of our water utilities. If you were to read any of our supplier diversity reports that we submit to the CPUC on an annual basis, you'll see that we have a need to connect with African-American suppliers as we go through the process of procuring services and goods that help us maintain the infrastructures that we all have. And so to my colleagues here, we are delighted and excited to connect with GLAC. We're looking to meet with you, not just in this session, but in other sessions to come as you continue to learn about these 7 investor-owned water utilities regulated by the Public Utilities Commission and having had supplier diversity programs since circa 2010. I want to just pause right there to just give you a little background about the investor-owned water utilities entree into the supplier diversity program under General Order 156 of the California Public Utilities Commission. It was just a short decade or so ago that the investor-owned water utilities began to build supplier diversity programs, and each of the entities began to actually hire full-time resources and begin to stand up programs. So when you think about just a regular business cycle, it's a good 2 to 5 years before you reach, that next level of maturity when you're coming out straight out of the box, building from the ground up, trying to understand all the moving parts, trying to figure out where you fit in the organization and what are all the intersections within your organization and external to the organization. It's going to take a few years. But I can tell you that all of these companies have been very successful in the maturity of their programs. As of 2021, as a combined water utilities under California Water Association, we have invested and spent and utilized almost, actually $1 billion or close to $1 billion with diverse owned companies. And so now we have to dig deeper and we have to peel back the layers of this big, diverse marketplace and really start to look at, yes, we've met the numbers overall and we've been successful in terms of what our endeavors have been, but there are some segments, there are some categories, there are some areas in our programs that we need to fine tune. And that's what brings us here today to GLAC, because we're looking for not just diverse suppliers, but African-American diverse suppliers in this marketplace that can successfully and expediently align with us to deliver all of the goods and services that we need in order to maintain our infrastructure. It's imperative that we maintain our infrastructure so that we can provide all of the quality, safe, and reliable water to the communities that we serve. But we want to be able to do it with people that look like us in the communities that we serve. So this beginning with GLAC, I hope is not something temporary. I hope it is not disregarded as just another, attempt. Because like I said, we're trying to stay ready so that we don't have to get ready. And this is the beginning of our introduction as individual companies under the California Water Association umbrella, looking to reach out to those companies that can align with us and provide the goods and services that we're looking for and deliver the quality, competitive, innovative, and creative solutions that help us sustain and maintain our infrastructures. So again, thank you so much for coming. Naomi, if you'd like to move to the next slide, I'm ready for the presentation. Next slide. Okay. So again, I'm Holly Joy with Golden State Water Company. I have been in the supplier diversity space for the last 10 years. I am an advocate for supplier diversity simply because it makes sense, not because there's been a percentage of spend placed by the California Public Utilities Commission, not because, I'm competing with all of the utilities in California to jockey into place to say, we did it. Although I will tell you that we have done it. But I'm more passionate about supplier diversity because it just makes sense. It's a good marriage between my personal and my professional self, that why not give everyone a chance to be able to grow their particular business? I've said this before, I have a healthy respect for any person that decides to become an entrepreneur, because quite frankly, I'm not brave enough. I'm not disciplined enough. But if there's anything that I can do to help advocate and push the needle for you, then that's what I want to do. I often tell people that the relationship begins now, not at contract signing. The relationship begins with how you show up. It begins with how you represent your company. What is your brand? And if you don't have one right now, or if you're just embarking on your entrepreneurship, or even if you've been in business for 25 years, I'd ask you to take a deep dive and look at what is it that you're offering and how can you connect and get me to recognize exactly who you are. I hope that you have stayed ready so that you don't have to get ready. But even if you are just now getting ready, I'm interested in taking that journey with you and talking about how you align with Golden State Water Company. Next slide. Are we going to go into our presentation, Naomi and Angela? Okay. So Ed, why supplier diversity? This is Ed Simon from California American Water. We had agreed previously that he would join me in the welcoming. So Ed, if you'd like to take over, this would be your time.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining us. Holly said, I'm Ed Simon. I'm with California American Water. Holly alluded to some of this in her opening comments, but why supplier diversity is really centered around the General Order 156 that Holly had mentioned that was part of the AB 3678 in 2006. The regulated water utilities really didn't start monitoring and measuring and tracking their results until 2009. But this particular order was applicable to the utilities that you see there, the electric, gas. Water wasn't added until 2009, the wireless telecom, all of the utilities that are regulated by the California Public Utilities Commission that have revenue of $25 million or more. The program includes, as you see there, women-owned, minority-owned, disabled veteran-owned, and now, which is pending final approval with the California Public Utilities Commission, will include LGBT-owned businesses. It is part of the general order that we also come together as utilities and the commissions to speak to our efforts at an annual meeting, which is pending update to maybe more frequent meeting with the recent ruling that's pending, that there will be, may likely be more than just an annual meeting, the en banc that you see there on the bottom bullet, but there may be more frequent meetings between the commission, the utilities, and the public. The breakdown for the goal for us is around 21.5% of our spend needs to be with diverse suppliers, 15% of that being with minorities, 5% of that being with women, and 1.5% of that being with disabled veteran businesses enterprises. Includes both direct spend, meaning spend that the utilities, the CWA and other utilities spend directly with vendors, as well as encouraging direct suppliers, prime suppliers to utilize subcontractors. But the total goal is 21.5% of our spend should be with minority, women, disabled veterans, as well as the new goal will be LGBT, and that goal will be an increase from the 21.5% to whatever the number the commission decides on here in their ruling. Next slide, please. So this is just more of who we partner with in our efforts to include diverse suppliers in our procurement processes. Obviously, it's with our regulator, which is the CPUC, the California Public Utilities Commission. We also offer through the program free certification through the Supplier Clearinghouse. But if you are certified through one of the agencies that you see there on the right, there is reciprocal certification. You would just need to submit a comparable agency application with the commission with your certification attached, and it's a much shorter application if you were not part of one of those agencies. So if you're part of the WBANC or the NGLCC, the NMSDC, those are all agencies that the Supplier Clearinghouse will accept as reciprocal certifications. Next slide, please. All right, I'm going to turn it back to you, Holly, to talk about specifically Golden State Water.
Thank you so much. Again, Holly Joy, Golden State Water. We are an investor-owned utility, a subsidiary of American States Water Company, and we're headquartered in Los Angeles County. We are regulated by the state of California with stringent oversight from the California Public Utilities Commission. Next slide. We've been providing quality water to Californians for more than 90 years. We currently serve over 1 million people in northern, southern, and coastal communities. We are a 500-member team of experienced engineers, scientists, and water experts. Next slide. Our supplier diversity program complies with all of the components of the CPUC's General Order 156. We have met and or surpassed the CPUC stated diverse spend goal of 21.5% for the past 4 years. And in 2019, all spend targets were met for diverse categories were met and totaled 29.4% of all procurement spend. We actively engage with community-based organizations, again, such as GLAC, to identify, educate, and inform all of the members of utility project opportunities. Next slide. This is a snapshot of the 7 districts in Northern, Coastal, Central, Orange County, Southwest, Foothill, and Mountain Desert. Next slide. These are our 2021 upcoming projects. I apologize, I have been on vacation and have not updated for 2022, but we will on our website list all of the upcoming projects for the different districts that I just mentioned with very specific system upgrades or meters or SCADA needs. And you can visit our website at www.gswater.com and you can look at the community or the district that actually supports where you're able to provide goods and services. Next slide. Our category of spend ranges from pipelines installation to office remodels to permit process management, all of the consulting and engineering across all of the engineering disciplines of mechanical, structural, civil engineering. We have reservoirs and tanks plants and buildings, wells and boosters, and just maintenance on all of our infrastructure, such as leaks, such as meter replacement, a valve and hydrant maintenance, and just a multitude of areas that we spend in order to deliver all of the quality water that we deliver to the communities that we provide service to. Next slide. So Danny Rodriguez is not no longer with Liberty Utilities, but I'll just go ahead and move into Liberty Utilities simply because it is still a viable entity and is part of the California Water Association. Liberty Utilities is headquartered in Downey. They serve about 50,000 members in Apple Valley in Southeast Los Angeles. You see that their vision, mission, and value statement is to really be innovative and find better solutions for our business and our customers. And that's where we align with some of the diverse suppliers in the GLAC membership and the marketplace as a whole. Next slide. Liberty Utilities procures about $35 million per year, spending about $10 to $15 million with diverse businesses annually. Next slide. Jeanette.
Thank you, Holly, and good morning to everyone. Oops, sorry about that. My name is Jeanette Diaz. I am the manager of supplier diversity and procurement here at San Gabriel Valley Water Company. And I'm really happy to be here with you all today and give you a little bit of history on our company and some of the products and services we're looking for, and also how to apply to be a vendor with San Gabriel. So just a little background on San Gabriel Valley Water Company. We actually have two divisions. We have our LA County division headquartered in El Monte. And out of that division, we have about 48,000 service connections. And we also have our Fontana Water Company division in the Inland Empire, which out of that division has over 44,000 service connections. And together with both divisions, we serve a population of more than 480,000 people. Next slide, please. This is just an overview of our service areas, just to give you a visual. We service most of Fontana and parts of Rialto, Rancho, Cucamonga, and some unincorporated areas of San Bernardino. In our LA division, we service parts of various cities from Arcadia to Whittier, South El Monte, and Montebello, as you can see there. Next slide. So I listed here some areas of opportunity for in 2022, our CIP project, we have a $101.3 million spending budget. And I've listed some of the areas that we are currently looking for. We're always looking for traffic control. A current project we have right now is for electrical vehicle charging stations and installation of those. Dry utilities is a big one, drilling and rehab. Valve and pipe fitting supply companies, and also generator suppliers is a big one as well. There are other opportunities that may not be listed here, so I would strongly advise you to reach out to me and send me an email, even if you don't see your service or product listed here. Just introduce what your company does and what you can do for water utility business, and we might have a need for that specific product or service. Next slide, please. So if you are interested in onboarding as a vendor with San Gabriel Valley, this is just an overview of our onboarding process. I won't go into every detail, but we do have a vendor information form on our website at sgvwater.com. From there, you can fill out the form. My email address is on there to send that to me, and I will review that, send it to the appropriate department and personnel. We will probably ask for more information. If we feel your service or product is something we can utilize, we'll request a meeting and we'll go through final review and approval to add you as a vendor in our pre-qualified database. And some of the information we might ask for is a statement of qualifications, the completed form, vendor application form, insurance certificates, permits if applicable, bonding limits if applicable, resumes of key personnel, and also references of similar projects if you have, and also a clearinghouse certification if you are certified in the clearinghouse. Once we onboard a vendor, it doesn't necessarily mean we guarantee you a contract right away, but you're in our database, you're pre-qualified, and if the need for your service or product comes up, we will go to that database and pull from there and send out the RFP or request for quote. I believe that is my last slide. Yes, and now we will move on to Ms. Lauren James.
Hi, everybody. Lauren James with Suburban Water Systems. I'm Director of Communications. Under the communications umbrella, we have the company communications, supplier diversity and conservation. Next slide, please. As mentioned, some of our cities got cut off, but that's okay. I didn't realize that until right now, but it's okay. So we're an investor-owned water utility, just like everybody else on the call. Suburban is one of the smaller ones, and we're primarily in San Gabriel Valley, and we just extended out into Sativa Water District, which is in LA County. We cover a 42-mile service area that covers portions of the San Gabriel Valley, which starts from Glendora to Covina, West Covina, La Puente, Hacienda Heights, go over the hill, Hacienda Heights to Whittier and La Mirada. And then we have portions of the county in City of Industry and La Puente. And then we have little parts of Buena Park. So next slide. All right, so this is a service area snapshot. It kind of gives you the picture. We got to add Sativa to this map. So we categorize in two areas. We call ourselves the San Jose Hills District, which is in blue, and the Whittier La Mirada District, which is in green. And that's the opportunities that you guys have to support us in these two districts. Our headquarters is in Covina, which I'm stationed at. And then we have a total connections is 75,000. Our total population served is 300,000. We have 860 miles of pipeline. So you can, and we've been around since 1925. So our pipeline is old and we're looking to replace it. We have like 100-year plan. So this is where you all could fit in and support us. You can imagine that not everything goes great every day with these old pipelines. We have 100 boosters. We have 63 remote sites. We have 32 reservoirs. I believe it's 33 now. And we have 18 wells. So lots of opportunity to work on our service and our within the boosters, the sites, the reservoirs, and the wells. Next one. All right, so these are our business opportunities that we currently have. I guess I'll go through the whole list. So we need the water service line blow off our air release replacements. We need valve replacements, AC and concrete surface restoration, steel tank construction, welding and painting, steel tank retrofits, welding and painting, earthwork and grading, site work, chain link fencing, wrought iron fencing, CMU block walls, landscaping, demolition, engineering design services, construction management services, electrical. I know electrical is big on the list right now. Our current electrical vendor is retiring. We do have a pipeline of vendors for electrical, but you know, we're looking to add some more, because what the next in line vendor, success story, right? They started off really small with us in 2015, and now they're too big for us, and so sometimes they're too big to where they turn down some of our jobs. So we're looking to add another electrical vendor to replace the one that's currently retiring, and then pump and motor installation, wells and boosters. All right, and I'll pass it on over to Tim. Thank you all.
All right, thanks. My name is Tim McLaughlin, Director of Supplier Diversity at San Jose Water. Next slide, and probably even go past the next slide. Yeah, how about we go to the next? Thank you. So at San Jose Water, I think we're I think one of the only water companies on the call today that is pretty much one particular geographic area, and that is San Jose and surrounding communities. So we have 230,000 customers, 88% of those are residential, 370 employees in total with San Jose Water, many miles of pipe, 106 pump stations, and we've got a lot of almost 100 storage facilities, 2 water treatment plants. And much like Lauren and the others, most of our work, I'll say 50%, is in the construction area. We have 2 major prime suppliers that do much of our underground work, pipe replacement. I think we have a commitment with the Public Utilities Commission of, don't quote me, but I think 20 some miles of pipe each year will be replaced because as you can imagine, being 150 years old, there are always going to be older pipe in the ground. And, it just tends to fail. So we want to try and get in front of that, replace as much pipe as possible. So that's probably true for most of the water companies here. So that is a huge area for you to participate in, but I don't want to discount the opportunity that you might have to work with some of our prime suppliers. So as time goes on, we can help introduce you to them as well. Next slide, please. So onboarding, there is our website, and I have a supplier registration site that is a third party. It's Avisar is the name of it. And if you go in and register, and it's not a pre-qualification or anything like that, but if you register under that link, you are also visible to anyone else who uses that Avisar platform. And I know a lot of organizations in LA specifically use that Avisar platform. And there have been instances where people have registered for San Jose Water and have been found by other organizations. So encourage you to do that. Also, that's the first place that we look. If you take the time to do it, then when we have an opportunity, that's kind of the first place that we go to see who might have qualifications. Need to update the third bullet. We have more than the 2019 supplier diversity report, but if it's been said already and I'm duplicating, I apologize, but all of us put together annual supplier diversity reports. They're on the Public Utilities Commission website. If you go to that link, you will see not only 2019, but you'll see our most recent reports that were put together and submitted March 1st of this year, highlighting our 2021 annual report. A little bit about our annual report. We have addressable spend of about $119 million annually. It varies from year to year, but in 2021, it was about 119 million that we spent. And roughly over 40 million of that was with diverse companies. So I think we came in at about 33% in 2021. So roughly a third of what we purchase is with diverse companies. But like Holly said initially, we're really very weak in the area of African American spend. And I know, this is the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce, and us being in San Jose, many of you might feel like, well, I don't have an office in San Jose. Well, if it's construction involved, yeah, it might be nice to have an office. But if you have a product or service that does not require a location up in the northern part of the state, then you're still relevant to us. So we still want to participate and hear what you have to offer. Next slide, please. So these are lists of opportunities that will come up over a period of time. And I'm going to talk over a period of years. The reason I put this slide in is because San Jose Water actually purchased Connecticut Water. Along with that came Maine Water. And then we also had a Texas facility prior to the purchase of Connecticut Water. So we have 4 distinct locations. We have San Jose Water, but we also have Connecticut, Maine, and Texas. As a part of that purchase, we formed a centralized procurement organization, and they have a plan over the next 5 years to relook at and bid many of the things, all of the things that you see on this screen. So I can't tell you what the timing is, but they are going to take a look at pretty much everything that we do. So I won't read through that in great detail, but you'll see mains and services construction, chemical feed systems, demolition, excavation, just about any of the main things that we share. If you think about all the locations, it's not on here, but computers, maybe it is on there. But when you think about computers, we can all use the same computers at all locations. So that's right for a centralized procurement. So my message here is there's a lot of centralized procurement that's going on, and you can participate not only with San Jose Water, but the larger group, San Jose Water Group, which would include those 4 locations. Next slide, please. Some specific San Jose water opportunities. We are not yet approved, at least I haven't heard, but I think we are close and it's moving well to install AMI meters, which is smart meters. So that would be a meter replacement project that will be huge. It will go over a period of years. And so around that, we will probably need many people, anywhere from project management, meters, purchase of meters, installation of meters, warehousing perhaps. So that will be probably one of the biggest projects that we will work on over the next several years, assuming that it gets approved. We also have opportunities in fleet purchase, paving, generators, office supplies is one that is probably more current. Always looking for electrical contractors, HVAC, construction of sumps, electrical hardware, and then chlorination parts and supplies. This is not an exhaustive list and it changes all the time. So it's going to be in my best interest, in your best interest, for me to learn about what your opportunities are and then find the right person to see if there's something not on this list but still might match. And I think that's probably it for me. If you go to the next slide. Yes. So Ed, I will turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you very much. As I mentioned before, I'm Ed Simon. I'm the Director of Business Performance and Supplier Diversity for California American Water. I know we have the Suburban Water logo there, but it is with California American Water. So I apologize for the typo there. We'll get that updated. Next slide, please. So this particular slide shows a map of our service area. Let's see if I can, my screen is small, so I'm barely able to see that here. See how I can advance it. But anyway, we are not the largest in California. We are the largest investor-owned water utility. Our parent company, American Water, is the largest investor-owned water utility in the US. As I mentioned before, we're not the largest, however, in California. We are divided into divisions. Our southern division down at the bottom of the map there includes our San Diego operations, which is Imperial Beach, and we serve portions, serve all of Coronado Island. And then we also serve the Rosemead area, as well as the Ventura County, portions of the Ventura County and Rosemead areas. And that would be more of our southern division. Moving up the state, more of our coastal division is in Monterey. We serve all of the Monterey Peninsula and its surrounding areas. And then we have a northern division, which includes our Sacramento area. We do not serve all of Sacramento, but we serve portions of Sacramento, as well as portions of Sonoma County. This map also shares some of our growing areas and companies that we've acquired over the last several years. So that's who we are. Next slide, please. So overall procurement, this list isn't anything different than what you've seen from and heard from my counterparts in the other utilities. This is just listing all of the things that we procure, from services to products. I won't read through all of them. I apologize, that's a little blurry for you to see there, but I'll get into more specifics here in the upcoming slides. Next slide, please. So this is a list of the items that we procure. Again, sorry about the blurriness of the slide there. We'll clean that up before we send this deck out to everyone. But we procure items from engineering services to construction services to underground pipe construction, water main replacements, well rehab, well drilling. So the list is pretty large on what it is that we procure. And again, I'll share some specifics here shortly. Next slide, please. So in our southern division, and I've updated this list, I got a recent list from my operations and engineering folks. So what I'm about to share is not Some of it supports what you see here, but some of it may not. I wanted to share with you a more comprehensive list. In our Southern Division, there's several needs. One, in our Rosemead area, we have a new office that we're constructing. So if you are office design, furniture, those type of items, we certainly would like to hear from you. That's for our Rosemead office. In our LA area, which is our Duarte Baldwin Hills area, well drilling, new pipeline, well treatment, and again, well rehab and it is needed in our LA area. In our San Diego district, it's more for Coronado Island and the Imperial Beach area, it's more water main replacements. So if you can help us replace water mains in there, please reach out to me. Next slide, please. Yeah, this is, I covered this Southern Division list here already. I'm gonna go to the next slide. So in our Central Division, again, I'll share an updated list and we can send this updated list to all of you after the call. I'll work with Angela and Naomi and the team there at GLAC to send out the updated list, but specifically in our Coastal Division, again, that's our Monterey area. We serve all of the Monterey Peninsula and some of the surrounding areas there in the central part of the state. But we need well rehab and drilling that is huge. So if you know anyone in that that can provide those services, that's a really big need for us being water utilities. New tank construction, rehabbing tanks, main replacement. We also are embarking upon a new water supply project in our Monterey area, and we need design and engineering, mechanical, electrical, civil, construction management, and project management. Those are all needs for our Central Division, our Monterey Division. Next slide, please. Okay, in our Northern Division, the bulk of our needs are around wells, rehab, drilling, but so more specifically in our Northern Division, again, that's Sacramento, portions of Sacramento. It's also including portions of Sonoma County, but in our Northern Division, it's more design and construction, again, around well drilling, well rehab, both above and below ground improvements, booster pump stations, again, underground pipe construction. We're going through a major backyard main replacement project in the Sacramento area. If you have SCADA, electrical and controls services, would like to hear from you. Anything around generators, replacement and new generator installations. And then there's also some needs for some treatment plants around our iron and manganese water treatment. It's more of a specialty type of treatment that we are looking for. Next slide, please. So I would encourage you to visit our website. The link is there. On that website is chock full of how to do business with us, both from a diverse supplier perspective and a non-diverse supplier perspective. Also in there, and we're updating these slides, you will find a specific list of what it is that we're looking for to procure in 2020. Actually, we updated it to 2022 to 2024. But it would also include the name of the project lead and their contact information and their email information. So you would be able to reach out to them directly. The one thing I would like to point out here is that we do have a supplier diversity event coming up on June 6th and 7th. I forgot to mention this in my other meeting I had this morning. So if you're interested in attending that and you can provide some of the services that I mentioned here, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and we can send you the link to get on the list to determine whether or not you can attend that event for us. Next slide. All right, with that, I'll turn it over to you, Jose.
Thank you, Ed, and good morning, everybody. My name is Jose Espinosa. I'm the Supplier Diversity Program Manager for Cal Water. May we go to the next slide? This slide is to give you an idea of our area of operations. We cover more than 20 cities across the state, from Chico to Commerce, and many cities in between. Next slide, please. So this creates, our geographical location creates both a opportunity and challenge, as many of the products or services might be sourced either locally, some might be centralized. And to give you an idea of the items that we source, I actually split them in two. I want you to think of general items. These are many things that are related to our facilities, for example, janitorial services, pest control services, elevator maintenance, and the other group will be the water specific, pump stations, water wells, as well as like underground pipeline installations. So these are some of the items that we continuously source for. Next slide, please. So how do you do business with Cal Water? As I mentioned, because of our geographical location, the first question is to understand whether we procure centralized or decentralized. Janitorial services, for example, tends to be decentralized, tends to be very city specific. Electrical supply, for example, that could be centralized at a headquarters level. It is important for you to understand whether it's under contract. Our contracts can be from 3 to 5 years. So it really depends on where are we in that cycle, whether we have any opportunities available. Here are a couple of things that are very important. Your website. This is the first place that our procurement team or our civil engineer or electrical engineering team is going to go to. That's a list, for example, your licenses, any affiliations, if you're union, but very important, your past experience. Some of the items that we're looking is the type of work that you're doing, but also the location that you have performed it at. That gives us an idea of which engineering team, for example, will be the appropriate introduction. Very important that you understand our insurance requirements. These are on our website, calwater.com/suppliers. But also we post our terms and conditions. It is a good practice that you review them in advance. So that way, during negotiations, we don't face any obstacles because there are redlinings or contract negotiations. Next slide. Okay, I will pass it back to either Ed or Holly, if you can take it from here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jose. And I'll turn it over to Holly, but I'll cover this slide here. I would tell you this is a really important slide. I know we covered quite a bit with all of us sharing our information about our organizations and our utilities and how to work with us and what are some upcoming opportunities. But this slide is important because it has our contact information, how to reach us through cell or through email. If you heard something that is of interest to you, please don't hesitate to reach out to any one of us. I would encourage you to kind of save your time. I know you're busy business owners. Perhaps you send one email to all of us and you attach your capability statement. That way you're sending one email versus having to send 7 different emails, and we will then individually respond on whether or not there's a need for your services at this time or to give you some other direction. But I want to thank you on behalf of all of the utilities and everyone that you heard from today for attending and listening. And then I'll turn it over to you, Holly, and then I think we turn it back over to GLAC for to facilitate Q&A.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I hope that you found that this session was informative, maybe a little bit high level in some cases, maybe a little detailed. It's a lot of information to consume. What we're hopeful for is that you would have an appetite to consider working with or presenting your goods and services to any one of the 7 water utilities. Ed made a great point about sending a singular capability statement to all of us as we're listed here. I would caution just a couple of housekeeping. Number 1, Danny Rodriguez is not at Liberty Utilities, so that email address you do not want to include because I'm not sure where it will go. Secondly, Golden State Water Company is returning to the office this week on a hybrid schedule. So the telephone number listed there for me is active, but give me a couple of days to find out and clear out any of the voicemail messages that may have been left for me in these past 2 years. But going back to, the purpose of us wanting to connect with GLAC and the participants that are on this call today, and I'm hopeful that you'll have some water cooler conversations or some sidebar conversations with some of your entrepreneurial colleagues that might have a service or a product that you think might be a connection for us. We are actively looking to engage with you so that we can make sure that we are doing everything that we can to identify and potentially work with African-American owned businesses in the communities that we serve to meet the needs of the projects that we have. We've run the gamut from construction to office remodel to interior design even. So I would encourage you to reach out to us, but don't just simply reach out to us on an email and say, I'm an African-American owned business. I heard that you needed me. I'd like for you to give me a little bit more information. How do I need you? What did you hear either in this presentation or through the research that you may have done on either of these companies that tells you, hey, you know what, I think I could be a good fit. Remember what I told you, the relationship begins now. It does not begin at contract signing. It's how you show up now, how you interact with us now that continues the conversation to take it further. And just be patient. As entrepreneurs, I'm sure you know, not every initial sales encounter results in a sale, but it does result in good relationships when you show up the way you want to end up. So thank you for coming and joining us today at this GLAC first educational series. We look forward to sharing more information about our company's certification, and we're on hand to answer any questions that you might have. Thank you again. Angela?
Thank you. And let's give our speakers a round of applause, if you will. I think this was some great information. And one thing that we certainly don't see often are phone numbers. Usually it's some info at somewhere. But these guys are serious and they've come together as an association and wanted to come to GLAC today to present all of their procurement opportunities. As they mentioned, the list is not exhaustive. And so please make sure that you follow Ed and Holly's advice and take your capability statement, send it to these folks here. Their emails are listed, and let them know what it is that you have to offer. I suggest that you go to their websites too as well, so that you're a little more familiar with what it is that they specifically offer. But I thought the list today was exhaustive. We'll update it and get some fresh information, and then we'll resend out this deck to everyone that's in attendance today so that you can take an opportunity and study this. And as Holly said, get ready so you don't have to get ready. Be ready so you don't have to get ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. How does it go, Holly?
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
There you go. I knew something about being ready. All righty, so let's take a look and see if there are any. I see a question here from Don Clytus. Multi-sincere, the relationship is okay. GLAC is A+. Thank you for that shout out, Donald. We appreciate that. That's what it's all about, relationships, and this is where it starts. Do we have any other questions? If not, we can go into our closing announcements, and then we'll come back and see if you have any questions. I see a new message somewhere. Great, looking forward to speaking. Great overview. Okay, you guys. Daoud Thompson, is that how you pronounce it? Has enjoyed your presentations. Okay, so Naomi, you want to tell us about upcoming events?
Yes, I'd like to take a moment and thank all of today's speakers as well. We have a few upcoming events. Let me go ahead and put those on the screen for you all. And so first up, we have on April 26th, we will have, wrong screen. There we go. April 26th, we will have a GLAC member meetup. Takes place at 4 p.m. on Zoom, kind of just like this. Will be an opportunity for members to introduce themselves and share a little bit of what they have going on, introduce their business. It's an intimate setting where we get together and have an opportunity to network and meet some of the newest members of the chamber. On May 4th, we have part 2 of the GLAC and the AM series here with California Water Association. So make sure to get registered for that to hear about the upcoming information. We also have our 28th annual Economic Awards Gala coming up on Thursday, May 19th at 5:30 p.m. There is a discount for members to purchase ticket online, as well as for those to have table sponsorships at the event. We have part 3 of the series. Excuse me, I have a correction to make there. On June 8th for the California Water Association. All of these events are on our calendar on www.glaacc.org. You'll have an opportunity to register there and see a recording of today's presentation as well. Gives us a little time to get it put up, but I will go ahead and pass it over to my colleague Chanel for an invitation to membership.
Thank you, Naomi, and thank you to the California Water Association and everyone who joined today. This was just another example of the incredible workshops that GLAC offers. GLAC is an invaluable resource for African American small business, and we encourage you to join the chamber so that you can continue to have access to opportunities that you might not have the opportunity to get on your own. So to join, please visit our website at www.glac.org and use the tab membership to join today. Thank you, Naomi.
Thank you, ladies. And let's go back. Any other questions or commentary? Amine is saying no questions, but wanted to say thank you all to the representatives from the California Water Association. Great presentation as always. Thank you, Amine. Anything else? Okay. If not, we will gift you back some time to your day. And it's a beautiful day today in Los Angeles. I hope everybody's from California, at least here. I know in LA, it's expected to be about 80 or 90 degrees today. So go out and get some sunshine with these 30 minutes we're going to give you back. Or go back to work, right? All right, guys, I think that does it. Ed, Holly, any final commentary or any of the other speakers? Anything that you want to say before we adjourn?
Nothing for me, Holly, or anyone else?
Nothing for me. Thank you.
Thank
It
you
was
all for
great.
attending.
Great. Okay, get those capability statements together and send them out to the folks that you met on the call today, okay? All right,
Okay.
thank you, guys.
Thank
Bye,
you, everyone.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, folks.